the deep mountains, hidden among clouds and pine, stood an ancient temple. The morning bell rang softly through the mist, and rows of monks in gray robes moved quietly through the courtyard, sweeping fallen leaves and chanting sutras. Among them was a very young monk named Ming, innocent, cheerful, and always smiling. But deep inside, he still carried a tender heart, easily moved by longing and emotion. As the Chinese New Year approached, laughter and warmth filled the temple. Red lanterns were hung under the eaves, and the kitchen steamed with rice and dumplings. Some monks decided to stay through the festival in meditation, but Ming's eyes sparkled when he thought of his family. That evening, he went to his elder and bowed deeply. "Master," he said softly, "I wish to go home and see my parents." "It's been so long," the elder monk looked kindly at him. "Do you have enough money for the journey, child?" Ming hesitated. I don't. Not enough." The next morning, when the monks gathered for breakfast, word had spread. One by one, they placed a few coins into a small cloth pouch, their own small savings from years of simple living. "Here," said an older monk with a smile, "take this, brother. Go home and bring your parents our blessings." Ming's eyes filled with tears. He pressed the pouch to his chest and bowed. "Thank you, everyone. I'll never forget this kindness." Before dawn the next day, he set off down the mountain path. The air was cold, but his heart was warm. He thought of his parents' faces, the warmth of their kitchen, the laughter of his little sister. The mountain road was long and winding. He hummed softly to himself, smiling at the world. But suddenly, grrr! His stomach twisted painfully. He stopped, clutching his belly. "Oh no, not now," he muttered. He looked around. Nothing but trees, rocks, and silence. No toilets, no people. His face turned red with embarrassment. Finally, desperate, he ran behind a thick bush. Leaves rustling, the sound of wind, silence. After finishing his business, Ming let out a sigh of relief and smiled awkwardly. "At least no one saw that," he chuckled to himself, brushing off his robe and continuing down the road. But a few minutes later, he reached for his waist and froze. "My wallet! Where's my wallet?" He searched frantically. The ground, the bushes, under stones, even retracing his steps. Nothing. The pouch with all the money the monks had given him, gone. He fell to his knees, tears filling his eyes. "Oh no, everyone's kindness. My chance to see home. Gone." The wind blew cold through the trees as he sat there, trembling and defeated. Hours later, the sun began to set. With no money and no strength, Ming turned back toward the temple, his steps heavy and slow. That night, the temple bell rang in the distance as he returned through the gate, pale and silent. No one said anything. They only saw his eyes full of loss. He went straight into his small room, shut the door, and did not come out for many days. Soon his brothers grew worried. When they checked on him, he was lying in bed, weak and feverish, whispering over and over, "My wallet! My wallet!" They were shocked. "Ming, what happened? Why didn't you go home?" Through cracked lips, he murmured, "I lost the money. I can't face anyone. I can't face my parents." Days passed. He ate nothing, spoke little, only repeated those same words. "My wallet! My wallet!" His mind seemed trapped in that moment. When the master of the temple heard about his condition, he came quietly to Ming's room. He sat by the bed and looked at the frail young monk. The old master closed his eyes for a moment, then said softly, "This illness is not of the body. It is of the heart. A heart wound cannot be healed by medicine. It must be healed by the heart itself." He turned to the elder monks. "Go," he said, "find his wallet. Only then will his heart be free." The next morning, 3 monks set off along the same mountain path. The wind was cold and the sky gray. They walked for hours, searching every corner of the road. He said he stopped by some bushes near a big cypress, one monk recalled. They climbed down the slope, pushing aside branches, searching under rocks. The day grew late, and fatigue set in. Then suddenly one monk cried out, "Over here! Something's here!" They ran over, and there, half buried in the dirt, was Ming's wallet. But something was strange. The pouch was surrounded by a faint reddish stain, like a thin layer of dried blood. They looked at each other in silence. None dared to speak. Carefully, they picked it up and carried it back to the temple. When they placed the wallet before the master, the old monk gazed at it for a long time. Finally, he said quietly, "This is the result of the young monk's thoughts." His mind held on to this so tightly, his regret, his fear, his guilt, that it condensed into form. The blood you see is his heart made visible. The monks bowed in silence, their hearts trembling. When they cleaned the wallet and returned it to Ming's bedside, the young monk slowly opened his eyes. For a moment, he stared blankly, and then tears welled up. My wallet," he whispered. "You found it." He clutched it tightly to his chest, and in that instant, his breathing eased, his face softened, and color returned to his cheeks. The fever was gone. The master placed a hand on his shoulder and said gently, "Ming, remember this. Thought is the seed of all things. A pure thought can bring peace and health. An impure thought can bring pain and sickness. Our minds can heal us or harm us." He looked around at all the monks gathered there. As practitioners, we must watch our thoughts as we watch our breath. For what we think, we become. Outside, the snow began to fall again, quiet and pure. The temple bell rang through the mountains, echoing softly into the clouds. And in that stillness, every monk understood that even a single thought, if clung too tightly, can create a world